Deep water bases are real, and we've known for decades. People still think underwater bases are sci-fi. They're not. For decades, navies around the world have tracked objects entering and exiting the ocean at speed, without propulsion, without cavitation. United States Navy pilots have publicly confirmed USO's unidentified submerged objects moving from air to sea seamlessly. This isn't mythology, it's sensor data. Sonar, radar, infrared. Baltic Sea anomalies have been documented. Lake Baikal, the deepest lake on Earth, has a long military record of encounters. Puerto Rico Trench shows repeated activity spikes. The ocean is the perfect cover, vast, unmapped, shielded from satellites. If something wanted to observe without being seen, that's where it would go. The question isn't are they there, the question is how long have they been there and why we were never meant to look down. People ask why nuclear submarines sometimes just lose contact. It isn't equipment failure, it isn't operator error. Modern subs use active sonar, passive sonar, magnetic anomaly detection, layers of systems designed to see everything. Yet encounters are logged where something paces submarines, then vanishes, straight down beyond crush depth. United States Navy and Royal Navy records describe objects that outmaneuver vessels built to hunt silently. Sonar blind zones aren't accidents. They're physics and they're exploited. Some objects don't reflect sound normally, some bend it, some shut it down completely. In the Cold War, submarines were ordered not to pursue certain contacts. Not because they were hostile, but because they couldn't be classified. The ocean isn't just deep, it's layered. And not everything down there plays by our rules. If submarines, the most advanced machines we have, can't track them, that tells you exactly who's adapting to who. When the best technology on Earth loses sight of something, it's not because nothing's there. We didn't lose control of the oceans. We never had it. There's a reason sonar doesn't see everything. It's called a thermocline. A boundary where warm and cold water meet. Sound bends there, it warps, it refracts. Submarines know this, they hide in it. But some objects don't just hide, they use it. Naval sonar operators have logged contacts that drop below the thermocline and vanish completely. No echo, no trail, no debris. United States Navy manuals openly describe thermoclines as acoustic shadow zones. Now here's the part people miss. These zones aren't random, they're stable, predictable. Which means if something wanted long-term concealment, it wouldn't need invisibility. It would need positioning. Deep water bases don't need walls, they need physics. And the ocean already provides it. This is why activity clusters near trenches. This is why tracking fails at depth. And this is why whatever's down there isn't hiding from us. It's hiding with the planet. You don't need stealth tech when the ocean already bends sound for you. The ocean isn't empty, it's engineered. Every time a major missile test happens, something else lights up. Not in the sky, in the water. Navies have quietly logged USO activity increases immediately after ballistic and hypersonic tests, especially near deep ocean zones. United States Navy tracking data shows objects rising from depth before and after launches. Why? Missile tests create massive energy signatures, electromagnetic, acoustic, vibrational. If something is monitoring our tech progression, those moments matter. Nuclear subs report contacts pacing test zones, then dropping straight back into the deep. Not interception observation. Whatever's down there reacts when we shake the planet hard enough. That's not coincidence, that's response. When we test weapons, something underwater starts watching. Ancient cultures didn't fear the sky most of all, they feared the deep. From Mesopotamia to Polynesia, sea deities weren't gentle, they were watchers, judges, keepers of forbidden zones. Epic of Gilgamesh speaks of knowledge rising from the waters. Book of Enoch warns of beings bound beneath the earth. Old maps mark no-sail waters, not storms, not monsters, just absence. The ancients didn't have sonar, but they had patterns. Trade routes avoided specific coordinates for centuries. Not because of myth, but because something was there that never left. Legends are what remain when surveillance predates language. Ancient cultures didn't fear the sky most of all, they feared the deep. From Mesopotamia to Polynesia, sea deities weren't gentle, they were watchers, judges, keepers of forbidden zones. Epic of Gilgamesh speaks of knowledge rising from the waters. Book of Enoch warns of beings bound beneath the earth. Old maps mark no-sail waters, not storms, not monsters, just absence. The ancients didn't have sonar, but they had patterns. Trade routes avoided specific coordinates for centuries. Not because of myth, but because something was there that never left. Legends are what remain when surveillance predates language. Myths are what history calls long-term observation. Why satellites don't watch the deep? People ask why satellites haven't exposed underwater bases. Simple answer, they can't. Water blocks most electromagnetic sensing beyond shallow depth. Radar stops, infrared stops, optical imaging fails. Even modern satellites can only map surface disturbances. Wakes, temperature anomalies, pressure changes. The deep ocean remains the largest unobservable zone on Earth. Less than 20% of the seabed is fully mapped. That's not a failure, that's a blind spot. If you wanted permanence without detection, you wouldn't build underground. You'd build underwater. And you'd never need to hide because no one was truly looking. Space is watched, the oceans aren't. We search the stars for answers while something settled quietly beneath our feet. United States Geological Survey records seismic shifts that don't always match natural fault behaviour. Some quakes don't propagate like tectonic slips, they pulse, they stop. Submarines report sudden sonar blackouts during these moments, followed by nothing. No debris, no collapse, just silence. This doesn't mean earthquakes are artificial, it means movement at depth interacts with Earth's stress lines. If something massive relocates under pressure, the planet responds. Not explosions, displacement. The ocean floor isn't static, and not all movement down there is geological. Sometimes the Earth isn't shaking, it's adjusting. If underwater bases exist, they wouldn't be scattered randomly. They'd be placed where detection fails naturally. Patterns show up again and again. Deep trenches, volcanic zones, tectonic plate boundaries. Mariana Trench is the deepest point on Earth, extreme pressure, minimal traffic, constant acoustic distortion. Mid-Atlantic Ridge produces thermal noise that disrupts sonar and masks movement. Puerto Rico Trench sits near one of the most persistent USO monitoring zones. These aren't bases marked on maps, they're zones of interference. You don't need secrecy when geology does the work for you. The pattern isn't proof by location, it's proof by avoidance. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Seismic events and sonar anomalies often overlap. Naval logs show sonar disruptions immediately before or after underwater earthquakes, especially in deep water zones. Why? Because whoever controls the deep controls communication cables, submarine routes, detection zones. Civilian scientists don't get free access to the abyss. They apply, they're limited, they're escorted. The deepest parts of Earth are treated like borders. That's not curiosity, that's containment. There are ocean zones civilians are warned away from, not because of storms, not because of piracy, because of operations. International Maritime Organization issues exclusion notices with no public explanation. Navies label regions temporary, then keep them restricted for decades. Fishermen report equipment failures, submersibles lose signal, then silence, no press conferences, no follow-ups, just absence. The warning isn't written in words, it's written in access. Some parts of the ocean aren't dangerous because of nature, they're dangerous because something else is active there. And everyone in charge knows it. Every time disclosure comes up, the narrative points to space, aliens, craft, distant stars. But notice what's never centered, the ocean. United States Department of Defense releases footage of objects entering the sea, then the conversation stops. Why? Because space keeps the threat external, distant. If something has been here the entire time, operating beneath shipping lanes, coastlines, cables, that changes everything. You can't sell safety when the unknown is already inside the perimeter. Looking up keeps people calm. Looking down raises questions no one can control. So disclosure goes vertical, never horizontal. People think deep sea research is academic. It isn't. Most advanced ocean mapping is done by the military, not universities. DARPA funds autonomous underwater vehicles, NATO runs classified seabed surveillance programs, because whoever controls the deep controls communication cables. They control the submarine routes, the detection zones. Civilian scientists don't get free access to the abyss. They apply, they're limited, they're escorted. The deepest parts of Earth are treated like borders. That's not curiosity, that's containment. There are ocean zones civilians are warned away from. Not because of storms, not because of piracy. Because of operations. International Maritime Organization issues exclusion notices with no public explanation. Navies label regions temporary, then keep them restricted for decades. Fishermen report equipment failures, submersibles lose signal, then silence, no press conferences, no follow-ups. Just absence. The warning isn't written in words, it's written in access. Some parts of the ocean aren't dangerous because of nature, they're dangerous because something else is active there. And everyone in charge knows it. When maps go blank, it's not because nothing's there. The last frontier was never space. It was the part of Earth we were told not to enter. We've found structures underwater that don't fit geology, straight edges, right angles, terracing. Yonaguni Monument sits off the coast of Japan, massive stone formations beneath the sea, older than accepted timelines. Dwaka appears in ancient texts and on sonar. Bimini Road shows aligned stone blocks where no natural process explains them. These aren't myths, they're drowned records. The flood isn't just a story, it's a reset layer, and whatever survived it didn't go upward, it went down. People separate UFOs and USOs, they shouldn't. The same objects tracked in the air are seen entering the ocean without slowing. No splash, no heat bloom, no loss of control. United States Navy pilots have confirmed Transmedium craft, vehicles that move between air and water seamlessly. That requires no wings, no propellers, no conventional propulsion. Same behaviour, same physics defiance, different environment. They don't come from the ocean, they use it, and they always have. Everyone protects cities, but power doesn't flow through cities. It flows through cables. Over 95% of global data moves through undersea fibre optic lines. International Telecommunication Union confirms this openly. These cables run across the seabed right through the least observable zones on Earth. If something wanted to monitor, disrupt, or influence civilization, it wouldn't need cities. It would need access points. The deep ocean isn't just hidden, it's strategic. Here's the line that keeps resurfacing. They came from the sea. It appears in modern military leaks, it appears in folklore, it appears in survivor accounts. Epic of Gilgamesh speaks of knowledge rising from the deep. Coastal cultures warn of watchers beneath the waves. Even today, sightings cluster near coastlines, not deserts, not mountains. The ocean isn't a destination, it's a presence, and it's been part of the story longer than we have. We were taught to fear invasion, we were never taught to question occupation. The ocean was the first surveillance layer, before satellites, before radar, before airspace. The ocean was already watching every coastline, every migration, every trade route. Sound travels farther in water than in air. Low frequencies cross entire basins. That's why navies still rely on hydrophone network. SOSUS was built to listen, not look across oceans. If something wanted planetary awareness without visibility, the sea was the obvious choice. The ocean isn't just terrain, it's a sensor field, and it always has been. People say fear of deep water is learned. It isn't. Infants react to depth before language, heart rate spikes, breath shortens. That's instinct. Psychologists call it the abyss response. But instincts usually come from memory, either personal or ancestral. Disclosure isn't truth-telling, it's timing. National Institute of Mental Health acknowledges innate fear responses tied to survival. We didn't evolve fearing what never mattered. Dark water hid predators, pressure, unknown movement, or something that watched back. The fear isn't of drowning. It's of what can move where we can't. Disclosure isn't happening because we're ready. It's happening because the environment is changing. Ocean mapping is improving. Autonomous drones go deeper. Civilian tech is catching up. NOAA admits most of the seabed is still unexplored, but not for long. The blind spots are shrinking. You control a story best when you tell it first. That's why footage is released without conclusions, why attention is pushed skyward, why the ocean stays background noise. This isn't revelation, it's damage control. We were taught to search the stars for visitors. Whatever's here never needed to arrive. It was already beneath us, waiting for us to notice.